Hello YouTube, this is DriftTilTheEnd. I'm coming at you with another video. Today I'm going to be discussing the two-party consent law. Now, in the United States, which sometimes I feel like it should be called the divided states, because there's so many different laws and taxes and different things in different states, like it's on a whole nother planet or something. But aside from that, in California where I live, it's a two-party consent law when it comes to voice recording. So that means if me and you are having a conversation, the only way either of us can voice record is if we both consent and agree to be on tape. Now you're thinking, hey, that's a good thing because people need their privacy, right? Well, in another state, Arizona, it's a one-party consent law, meaning that if me and you are having a conversation, as long as I consent to having it recorded, meaning that you wouldn't even be notified, I could have my cell phone with the voice recorder on, I can record the conversation. Legally, it's fine. So California, Arizona, these two states is because I live in California. I'm planning to move in to Arizona in about 3 years, so I learned this law. And I like the one-party state a lot better because you get a lot more protection. Let me say, for instance, when I was moving out of my apartment, all right, and I told them, hey, I'm going to be moving. I gave them written notice, okay, 1 month in ahead. And what she said was, well, we're going to be renovating your apartment anyways, so don't fix anything unless it's major. We'll only charge you, like if it's big, like the whole wall's knocked out. But if you got, holes in the wall, like from hanging pictures or whatnot, little damages, we're going to tear that place apart anyway, and you're going to get your full deposit back. Well, I asked her if I could get it in writing, and she said no. So now I'm stuck with either I fix the apartment, which is going to cost a couple $100 from little, minor repairs. But if I do that, then she said I wouldn't be charged. So now I'm just wasting $200. But if I don't do that, I didn't get anything in writing. So you know what she can do? She can say, oh my God, you left this place a mess. She even told me not to shampoo the carpets because they're going to tear out the carpets. So then she can come around with her pictures and say, hey, oh, look at it. He didn't do any cleaning. And they can start charging you and just not giving your deposit back and putting it in the statement when they give you your deposit. They could take a bunch of money from you. So now I'm sitting here like, should I take her on her word or not? And so I thought about tape recording her, but I guess it's illegal in California. But the thing is, there's two different types of agreements. There's one on paper where you sign or you agree on paper. And then there's a verbal agreement. Well, if you have a verbal agreement, the judge can't really use that in court unless you have physical proof. I mean, they could take your word for it if they can tell the other party's lying. But I mean, your chances are very slim. They're going to want evidence. But if it's illegal to get the evidence, then you have no case. They're going to rob you blind in some cases. Another reason, well, let's just go back to this. So, it's a two-party consent. Well, if you call somebody, I'm going to use Sprint for example, and they go, this call may be monitored for quality assistance. Well, that means you're agreeing without even saying you agree, because you've already been, notified that they're going to record your call. I guess you could have hung up and then, so they're allowed to do that. But I don't know the law on if they said this call could be monitored for quality assurance, if I'm allowed to record, because if they're saying that's my consent, then I guess they're consenting too, so I can record it. But here's a scenario that happened with Sprint. I canceled my service with Sprint on December 7th. And then November 3rd, the next month, I got a bill that I was still incurred on their service. And I'm like, oh, heck no. So then I call them and say, hey, on the 7th, I canceled. And you guys didn't take me off. Luckily, they did have a reference number and they saw that I canceled. But they then I tried to say, hey, give me something in writing that shows that I canceled my account with you. And they said, no, we can't do that. Well, I'm like, well, I need some proof that I canceled my account. So later, if you guys try to charge me again, I'll have some type of proof on paper, written, that I just don't want to partner with you guys. I don't want an account. I don't want to be charged from you anymore. And they said, no, they can't. So if I would be able to record when I did cancel, this would be awesome, because then I'd have some proof. If they try to charge me in the future, I could fire back with an attorney or a lawsuit. But without that type of proof, I'm stuck in the water where it's just naysay and I have no bearings at all. So I believe that, Arizona's law is a lot better, because in Arizona it's a one record party consent law, which is pretty awesome, because then I could have recorded my landlord, just had my phone with the recorder on and recorded her voice statement agreeing that I didn't have to fix the apartment up. If she would have charged me all that money, then boom, I could have said, hey, I got you on recording, and you better pay me the money that you promised me, or else we're going to go to court, and non-refutable, I would win. Same thing with Sprint. At least I would have that archive, the voice archive of that I called and canceled my account, and I asked them like 3 times, like, are you sure my account's closed? Because I'm done with it. And they said, yeah. And they kept telling me yes. If I would have had that on voice recording, then, non-refutable. I love non-refutable. So that's why when I move to Arizona in 3 years, I'm going to be a lot better off. In general. So that's just my thoughts on it. 2-party consent, 1-party consent, awesome. I should be able to voice record, especially if it's just about, verbal agreements. A lot of people won't agree to record on voice for, if I would have went up to my landlord and said, hey, you won't do the written statement, but will you agree for me to tape record you? She would have said no, because why wouldn't she put something in writing? I told her she could put, if there's any big damages that I will be charged, but just put what you told me on paper. She said no. So definitely she wouldn't want me to voice record her for the same statement of acknowledgement of our agreement. So anyways, glad I'm moving to Arizona in 3 years. California needs to change that. And the other thing is, but it's just crazy how, we're the United States and that's like criminal law in California, when in Arizona it's totally legal, and we're talking about the United States. We're not talking about a different country. So, that's why I always think of it as the divided states, because how divided the laws and stuff are. It could be to beneficial, because there are different types of people in different states, and they do make different agreements with the ballot and all that, voting. So that's probably where it's at. But how in one state is something criminal, in one state legal, and it's in the same country? It just doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, if you like this video, put a thumbs up. If you didn't, put a thumbs down. Please comment below with your point of view on this. I'd love to hear. And as always, drift on. Thanks for watching my video.